Welcome back to Talk of the Town, everyone. Christina Brzezinski is with us now. She is the Chief Nursing Officer for Hilton Head Regional Healthcare. First time I've met you. Great to have you on our program,
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about Hilton Head Regional Healthcare encompasses, I know, the 2 hospitals.
Yes.
What services do you specialize in each? You want to share a little bit for our viewers that might not know?
Absolutely. So yes, Hilton Head Regional Healthcare is Hilton Head Hospital, Coastal Carolina Hospital, and then also our freestanding emergency department on Tidewatch Drive. So all 3 of those areas offer different types of services. You can go to any of the emergency departments for emergency care.
Right.
All of our emergency departments are prepared to take anything that walks through the doors. But service lines specifically at Hilton Head, we really do focus on cardiac care. We do a lot of advanced orthopedics, spine work, and I think people would be very surprised to hear about the types of services that we do there. While at Coastal Carolina, we really do have a focus on women's care and then also urology, and we do some orthopedics there as well.
And I know at Coastal, you specialize in maternity care because I have a great grandson that was born there about 2 weeks ago.
Wonderful.
And the experience was awesome.
That's
I
great.
just want to compliment you all for that.
I appreciate that. I mean, healthcare, we want to take good care of people and we want to make sure that we provide great care, but the service is really what brings people back, especially in this very small community. Really, people want a really great experience. So thank you for sharing that.
And so one of the reasons you're here is to really talk with our viewers and potential, perhaps nurses, or really anyone, maybe even toying with the idea of going into healthcare. We need you, right, Christina? So let's talk about the profession and why you got into it and how exciting and how gretifying it is.
Yep, no, I would love to do that. And mine's probably a little bit of a different story. I wasn't around healthcare as a child, but I grew up watching St. Elsewhere and ER and Chicago Hope, and so that's really how I saw medicine. But I really did enjoy science, particularly in high school. And I had an opportunity where someone came in from a local college and talked about our medical technology program, and they talked about working in a lab and things like that. And so since I was focused on science, I thought that sounds great for me. I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And so I went into college, choosing medical technology. So in my classes, I was in class with a lot of nursing students. So I started making friends with them, and I was actually really impressed by their stories of why they got into nursing. So lots of them, they had childhood illness, and they had been in and out of the hospital, or they had sick parents or grandparents, and they talked about what an impact the nurses were, and just how, and they just loved the nursing profession, and I got interested enough to make a change. So I went home and told my parents, I'm changing my major, I want to be a nurse. And so when I went into my first clinical rotation, I had not been around sick people, and it was a little daunting, but I really enjoyed talking to the people and the patients, and they were just people, and really learning their stories and things like that. So I really liked the personal aspect, and then I really liked just getting people better. I was drawn to cardiac care specifically, and I think the reason is you come in and you're sick and you don't feel well. You have congestive heart failure and you need a medication adjustment, or you've had a heart attack and you need a cardiac cath or an open heart surgery. So patients come in broken, and then we get to fix them, and they're so excited, and
you see them walk out and feeling better, and
and get them back to what they want to do. I think in healthcare it's unique because we actually get to help the quantity of their life, right? Hopefully we get to help make people live longer, but more importantly, the quality. So getting people back on the golf course, or back visiting with their grandchildren, or back to work, or whatever they enjoy doing, we have a hand in that.
Christina, what advice would you give a young person that is thinking about getting into nursing or even the healthcare profession in any way?
Sure, I think that, it's obviously a very rewarding career. It's service oriented. I think that people need to remind themselves that it is a service industry, and it's unique because we are serving a population who don't necessarily want to be there. Now, you had a great experience because you were in the maternity ward and taking home a new grandchild, but not everyone is there. So I think people need to understand that. But again, it's very rewarding. I think people also need to think of the practical part of it. There's flexible hours.
You will always have a job.
Absolutely. Job security, the flexibility. I mean, most nurses work 3 days a week, and that's their full-time job, great benefits, and then the growth and development. I mean, myself, I went from a nursing assistant to a nursing director, to a nurse, to a nursing director, to a chief nursing officer, and now I get to impact policies, procedures, decision-making. So I think that people need to understand that there's also a lot of opportunity for growth and development within the nursing field. So I think my best advice would be, if you're interested, talk to somebody who is a nurse, reach out to myself or to the hospital and come in and shadow. We encourage people, especially in high school, if they're interested, come and spend a half a day with the nurse and see the day in the life of a nurse. But I think once you come in and you start taking care of patients and seeing really what nurses do, I think you'd be really impressed.
Thank you so much. Christina Brzezinski with Hilton Head Regional Healthcare, a partner of WHHI-TV. Thanks, Christina. And we'll be right back.